Lamar Jackson. Does Mike Vick still trust the former MVP? He'll join us. He'll tell us. We will discuss. We are only into week 2, but Dak and the Cowboys already trying to get back on track. Is Sunday against the Chargers now a must-win for Dallas? And Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Nick thinks 20-0 is on the board. He is more sure now than ever. Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First alongside Nick Wright and Chris Broussard and Kevin Wildes. I'm Jenna Wolf. Is the bubbly on ice, Mr. Nick Wright? You got this thing all planned out already. You don't even have to watch the rest of the season.
No. Bubbly's not yet on ice. But if they beat the Ravens, we're going to be putting a down payment on a few cases. We're going to get the process started, Jenna. Wow.
All right, we will get to that. We got to start with a wild finish to Thursday Night Football. Giants Washington picked this up in the final seconds. Washington kicker Dustin Hopkins, a chance to win from 48. Oh, no! It's sails wide right, and the Giants win! Oh, but hang on a second. Wait, no! D-tackle Dexter Lawrence jumped off sides on the field goal attempt, so Hopkins gets a second chance to redeem himself. That one was good from 43. He nailed it. Washington pulling it out. They get the win. Heartbreak for the Giants. They're now 0-2. A tough one to swallow for former, by the way, special teams coach Joe Judge.
Obviously, something we don't want to have, something that's not acceptable. But look, we're not going to turn around and put this game on any one player or one play. There's enough things we can clean up as a team. We can play better going forward. So we're not going to go ahead and isolate one incident and say that's the difference in the game right there. So we got to make sure we do a lot of things better for 60 minutes.
The New York Giants fans going from glory to glum in just seconds. Even though, look, Danny Dimes played pretty well. 249 passing yards, 95 rushing yards. More than Saquon Barkley, by the way. And a touchdown through the air and a touchdown on the ground. But, Nick, a brutal loss nonetheless. How do you think Giants fans feel this morning?
Well, the good and the bad, right? The good is if Saquon continues to be limited by the injury, at least they know they have a very solid number 2 running back in Daniel Jones. The bad is their season's over. You can't start with these two teams in this fashion and lose the way they have and have any hope. Listen, there were only 4 teams on their schedule that when it came out, you're like, hey, we might have the better quarterback. 2 of them they've already played. They're 0-2. The other one is the game against Carolina and the game against Chicago, if Dalton were still playing, which he shouldn't be. That's week 17. And now when they play Washington again, if Heineke's still out there, they know we don't have the better quarterback. Now, Daniel Jones played one of the better games of his career yesterday, which is why it's such a shame for the Giants that they were not able to hold on and win. Remarkably, this was only the 6th game of his career. The 6th, where he didn't turn the ball over. They had been 4-1 in the previous 5. They are now 4-2. And after, when they had the opportunity to put this game on ice, after the Taylor Heineke one big mistake in a game he played awesome in, they couldn't pick up the 1 first down they needed. Kenny Galladay's on the sideline upset because he understood what that meant for their chances of winning. And so, no, I mean, if you're a Giants fan, Broussard, you're looking around, you're like, well, we're the worst team in what might end up being the worst division in the NFC. We're 0-2 with 2 of our softer games already having been played. Our season's done, and it's not yet the end of September.
Well, I'll start nicely, Nick. You mentioned Daniel Jones, 6 games, no turnovers in his career. 4 of those 6 have been within his last 7 contests. So he's getting better. And like you said, he did play well last night. He was not the problem. Joe Judge was right in one thing he said in that press conference. It's not one play, and it's not one player that deserves the blame. All right, and I'm going to start here. How should Giants fans feel? They should be enraged, all right, enraged. I'm not even a Giants fan, and I'm enraged because they threw that football game away, all right? And when you have no margin for error because, frankly, you're not that good, you can't throw football games away. Nick, you hit it on the head. Their season's basically over. Because 4 of their next 6 opponents are the Saints, the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs. All right, those are L's. So they're going to be 2, at the best, they're going to be 2-6. And now it's, do we go with Danny Dimes in the future, or do we start looking at the college ranks for our quarterback? So they blew it. And I am not just talking about the field goal at the end where Dexter Lawrence inexplicably is offsides, all right, and you cost your team the game. There was much more than that, and that's where I mentioned Joe Judge. How about Darius Slayton dropping a sure touchdown pass where there's not a defender in sight? All right, I get it, Danny Jones threw it a tad bit long, but you're a professional receiver. You got to catch that. All right, that would have been the ball game right there. But that wasn't it. Well, how do they follow that up? Well, Nate Soldier, false start. So you turn a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 10. And then the very next play, the other offensive tackle, Andrew Thomas, false start. Now it's 3rd and 15. You're lucky that Danny Dimes was able to scramble and get you in the field goal position. And then Gano hits a 55-yarder. And then with 37 seconds left, Nick, they have another infraction that moves the ball forward and puts Washington in Giants territory on that last game-winning drive when they kicked the field goal. So, Joe Judge, and I kind of like Judge because I'm an old-school guy. But you're supposed to be a disciplinarian. You're supposed to be old school. You're supposed to be buttoned up and everything is done right. And you got 4 terrible penalties in the last 6 minutes that cost your team the game. That's why Giants fans, Wiles, should be enraged, because they gave it away and not just on the field goal.
You're 100% right about Joe Judge being a disciplinarian, and a lot of people are taking shots at him because he famously makes all the Giants run laps. So, like, hey, you're making them run laps, and you still have all these penalties. What's your answer? You know what my answer if I was Joe Judge? More laps. Lap it up. Looks like we weren't doing enough laps if we have all those penalties that Broussard laid out. More laps, gentlemen. We're double the amount of laps. But this is why you guys have buried the lead. Because earlier this week, in Nick's tears, he said, oh, Giants, worst team. And I'm sorry, moving around. The camera's going crazy. I'm enraged. Yeah. He said the Giants are the worst team of his tears. And you put him on Spencer Rattler watch, and Broussard said, yep, you got to start watching Oklahoma games, Giants. And guess what? Danny Dimes was awesome. So I would like you, in the first block of the segment, we'll have Nick start. Are you willing? No, I'm not going to say are you willing. I demand you take the Giants off of Spencer Rattler watch. Danny Dimes was great. You said your big issue was the turnovers. He didn't have any turnovers. He played fantastic, and his stats would have been even better. They would have been even better if he didn't have the penalties on his long run or the pass that Slayton should have caught. So take Danny Dimes off.
Who was the better quarterback on the field last night? Who was the better quarterback on the field last night? I'm just curious. It matters in this regard.
I'm a quarterback wins guy.
You want me to take... Okay, well, then I guess you like Heineke last night. And he had the biggest throws. Daniel Jones had 2 excellent throws. The touchdown to Slayton and then the drop past Slayton. It would have been up for debate if Heineke didn't have a throw that almost made Troy Aikman pass out. The touchdown to Ricky Seals-Jones in the corner of the end zone, I looked at that and I said, oh, my God, is that Taylor Heineke or is that Aaron Rodgers? I mean, that couldn't have been better. So here's why. Watch it again. We'd show you, but we're short on footage this morning, America. Just imagine, close your eyes and imagine an angel descending on a unicorn. That's what the throw looked like. Now, more importantly, though, is this. If you're the Giants, you want me to take them off Rattler watch. Here's the problem.
Yes.
Look around the division. They're like, will Daniel Jones ever be better than Dak Prescott? Nope. Is Daniel Jones currently better than Jalen Hurts, who has 5 career starts? Nope. Was Daniel Jones better than Taylor Heineke, who, as they reminded us last night during the broadcast, 9 months ago, was taking math classes at ODU because he's like, this football thing ain't going to be my future? No, he wasn't better than him. So the Giants are actually, in an odd way, Broussard, lucky Dexter Lawrence jumped off sides because they don't want to trick themselves into thinking, oh well, if maybe we can actually figure that. No, you got to rip the thing down. They're the worst team in the worst division in the NFC.
Okay, look, both of you guys need to slow down. All right, as Aaron Rodgers might say, relax. All right, the verdict is still out, Nick, on both Jalen Hurts and Taylor Heineke. All right, so I'm not willing to say they're definitely better than Danny Dimes yet. Okay, and Wilds, I'll meet you halfway. What I'm willing to do is...
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm willing to...